Well, I think the future is bright, and I'll encourage women to keep doing whatever you're doing at the micro level. Everything that you're doing at each individual capacity eventually has a big snowball effect. So keep doing it and be encouraged. My name is Maureen Amakabane. I am a serial entrepreneur. Over the last 10 or 11 years, I've been able to experiment on different business ideas and concepts. Some have been able to kick off, some businesses I sold off, some businesses I'm not a director, and of course, like the journey dictates, some businesses didn't kick off. Yes. I'm currently actively working on building a digital platform, which is a marketplace, information and knowledge hub for women. And this is behind the brand Nyayo Mom Sokos Limited. My inspiration to mentor the next generation or people who come after me is really based on my experience in terms of trying to set up a business. So I feel mentorship is a critical component of people who are venturing into the entrepreneurship space, because we are transitioning from a generation that was, trained to be employed, or maybe just trained to be in the formal or white collar jobs. So I feel there's a lot of hands-on skills that individuals who are transitioning into business or entrepreneurship require. So I'm also a product of mentorship, and I felt that it's important for me to mentor people who come after me or younger people, so that they're able to eliminate some of the mistakes that I made as a business or setting up my business. There's a lot of importance to mentor women, not only under the underrepresented fields, but basically any woman who's going into entrepreneurship, because the terrain can be a bit tough, it's unexpected, and from my own personal experience, our socialization around business is already, there are many barriers in that space for women. So I feel mentorship becomes a critical element for any woman going into entrepreneurship or into business. And then of course, most important, the male-dominated spaces or industries. So there's definitely maybe ×2 need for women to be mentored in areas which they're underrepresented. I think in the women who I've mentored or have worked with this journey, to me, success is not a linear path. So it's not a dotted path. It's really the idea of the person who's chosen to be mentored, or I have signed up to mentor them. Are they applying some of the things that we are talking about, or are they packing that for them to use in future? So I think for me, success would look like, did the person put in the time? Did the person put in the hours? Because sometimes you mentor people and they're not in a position to implement immediately. So if we put a linear path or we put a dotted line as what we're looking at as measures of success, then we might miss out. So for me, I think the most critical thing that I factor in as a success element is the hours and the commitment that the mentees put into during the process of mentorship. I think for that specific theme, embracing equity, which was the theme for this year, how that looks like for me is just the idea of continue widening spaces for women in all sectors and really embracing women. So that could be in terms of giving them opportunities, working with them, and even just listening to them, listening to where they're coming from. So I think it's to ensure that we understand that the woman is not homogeneous. We are very diverse in the things that we do, what we believe in. And I think ultimately, for me, I love this thing because it's the single most opportunity for us to embrace the diversity that women show up with. I think there's several things that I'm very passionate about and I'm really pursuing. But for me, what I would love to see in the next 5 years is us walking through business women and ensuring that, working with business women rather, and ensuring that their businesses are formalized. Because some of the barriers we experience as women-led businesses, and part of the reason we're left out in conversations of policies, is because we don't have formal businesses. So I think for me, it's to see a future and a possibility where we can be able to support or work with 5,000, ensure that they're formalized. And what does formalization look like? It's that you've registered your business, you have a certificate of incorporation, either as a sole proprietor, as a partnership, or a limited company. You have your KRA PIN, you have your NHIF as a business, and you have your NSSF as a business. And at the bare minimum, you have a bank account. So for us, that's what you're looking at. And even if you move it further, you either have a till number or pay bill number. So that I think those are the critical elements that would look at in terms of formalization. And I feel once a business gets to this level, they're able to access unlimited opportunities.